What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pull-Up Experience podcast edition.
What's up?
We are here at one of our favorite lounging bistros here in Cleveland, Ohio. We are at The Four. As y'all know, we do a lot of events here and a lot of game planning here, and of course, love to eat here because the food is the bomb.
This is our headquarters.
We are actually having the pleasure tonight to have a wonderful conversation around elevation with the owner, Miss Rhonda. So stay tuned, y'all. And we already got our glass of their signature plum merlot from The Four. So if you come, make sure you grab it. But stay tuned because we're gonna get into it.
I'll get right into it. You know, with us being the best podcast in Cleveland, we have the best people on.
We claiming that now, y'all.
We already have it. You know what I'm saying? We already have it. So hey, this ain't no different. So I want to jump right into there, Rhonda, and I want to talk about how does it all start? Where did the Four Bistro come from? Because I know concept and idea is one thing, but to actually have it is another. So where did it all begin?
Well, it all began because my whole family, we know how to cook. You know, I learned from my grandmother, my mother. You know, I taught my children how to cook, and my middle daughter, when she was like 4 years old. She used to walk around, people used to buy her cookbooks, and she walked around with her apron on and cooking everything. But the Four, actually, the reason I got the name, of course, because of my 4 children. I had 4 children. The 4 people that I sacrificed them.
There you go. God bless you.
Worked 2 and 3 jobs for her and all that. So actually, when I was trying to think of a name, my daughter and I were in the car, and I was like, I just can't figure out what I'm gonna name the place. And she was like, name it The Four. And I'm like, oh, that's it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do The Four. So we got The Four Bistro in one.
No, that's dope. So before you do The Four, what were you doing beforehand? I know he was telling me a little bit about what you did beforehand, but I want to hear how that even came to be, because once again, you came from a normal 9 to 5, and now you're doing your own thing before. So
Yeah, well, I was in the hair industry. I'm actually originally from LA, and I moved here almost 30 years ago, so I've been here a long time. So I'm the Browns' favorite cast.
Okay, God bless you.
We love you, we love you.
So I still live in Vegas too sometimes, but when I first moved here, I was in the hair industry for 30 years. Okay, so we went to the Atlanta hair shows, did all that stuff. Actually, I went to hair school with a lot of known hairstylists and businesswomen today. So after that, I got into the insurance business, and I worked. I was licensed insurance agent for life insurance and property and casualty, you know, and commercial. And then I was just making them so much money, and I'm looking at all the money they making versus the money I'm making, I'm like, you know what? I think I want to be my own boss, you know, and make myself rich instead of making everybody else rich. And knowing that my family knew how to cook and everything, we all basically just started from doing dinners at home. And my one daughter, she was like, you know, Mommy, I help you do it. So we started doing dinners at home. And then a few customers became 10 customers, became 20 customers, became 30 customers. And I said, they gonna think we're selling drugs out there. So I had to find a place. At first I was looking for a place that should do takeout. So, you know, a little small, quaint little place, you know, that's why I wanted to be a bistro and stuff like that. And then I thought about it, I said, well, everybody that I know that loves to eat loves to drink. So I said I need to add, you know, some alcohol or some wine or something with that. You know, and our main thing at the time, our large seller was like pasta, you know, rice and stuff. So the pasta and wine kind of just went hand in hand. So I just started looking for places. I was still working for the insurance agency at the time. And I just started, you know, getting my game plan together and figuring everything out. And got my journal, and, you know, from A to Z. Did my research, you know, what it took to open this, and I live in the area, and also on property in the area, so I'm familiar with the city and everything, and they're familiar with me as well. And I saw this space over here available, which I pass by every day. And I came to look at it, and then also I looked at another space across the street, but it was small. So I ended up getting this space, and it took me about a year to build out, and then I'll be in business 3 years, March 30th, it'll be 3 years. Yeah.
So how was that process? Because it seems like as soon as you get on your feet, then the pandemic hits. And then, I mean, y'all reopening came back. I mean, it's always popping in here. For anybody who hasn't been here just yet, it's just a different atmosphere here. Like the music's good, the people are good, the service is incredible. Like I said, they have like their own like signature Alfredo. You know, everybody can't make good pasta, but
Yeah.
they got some good stuff here that's just key to like the vibe. They got their own kind of thing going on. But how did you like persevere through that? Because it's like most people would have gave up.
Right.
Okay, when I never forget, that's right when I was reaching like my peak in business and feeling good about the business, and people starting to know us, and you know, money's coming in, and people are booking events and parties, and we got the news. I started getting phone calls the day that they actually shut down, because when they did the shutdown, it was like an immediate, like tomorrow at midnight, you know, or whatever. You can't reopen until further notice.
Oh, I know that.
So I actually had a party booked the day of the shutdown that was supposed to go to 12, but the shutdown was at 10. So the girl called me. I said, "Do you want to cancel or whatever?" She was like, "No, we just gonna party to 10 o'clock. We'll just come early and we'll just party to 10 o'clock." And I actually started crying when I heard it, because I just felt so defeated, because it took me so long to get to that process of the business, and you know, and you know, just learning and finally feeling good about where I was at that moment, my first year, and then I was about to have my first year anniversary on top of it. So it was devastating. And then so when I got upset. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and then I just started thinking, I'm like, God, I just started praying. I'm like, you wouldn't bring me this far to me right now. So many people just started encouraging me and said, well, we're gonna buy food, you're gonna be okay, this and other. So because at the time I didn't know they were gonna allow us to do takeout. So then they announced that we can do takeout. So my customers, they came out with a vengeance. They just started ordering food, you know, on a daily, and then just really supporting us. And then when they said we can do to-go drinks, oh, that was just you know, that was just a whole nother thing. But actually, it was a learning lesson for me, and something that really took my faith to the next level, because I actually ended up making more through the pandemic than I did the prior year.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So keep in mind, when I first started, you know, people, you gotta get to know you and stuff like that. Then you kind of building your menu, then you're building your clientele, and then you want a certain type of clientele, and then, you know, you're booking your acts like your DJs and your jazz bands and stuff like that. So we were actually doing an open mic night back then too, and so everything was just about to really start getting, you know, bigger and bigger, and when everything happened. So I just said, you know what? When all else fails, if people don't have enough money to drink, they gonna eat. They gonna eat,
including us.
So I just got the menu, you know, a set menu together, and just started pumping out the food, and it just started working. You know, and people start ordering. The people that were inside started ordering the other takeout catering orders and stuff like that. So once we opened back up again, it was just
Now, one thing you hit on that I definitely want to first thank you on, but also want to kind of touch on, is that you are like a super supporter when it comes to the community. I know like you live here, you're a resident like I am, but you take it to a different level when it comes to pouring back into others and giving people an opportunity to showcase themselves. I've seen pop-up shops here, like you said, you do the karaoke, the nice jazz bands, the wonderful DJ, even the theme days where like it's the Sunday brunch and it's the games and stuff like that. Like how did that even come about? Because you stick with it. When you say like you are for the people, you for the people. So where'd that come from?
Because I just put myself in a position that I would want, somebody to put me in. And if I support somebody, I want them to support me and vice versa. And I just feel like as a community, especially a Black community, we don't support each other enough.
Yeah.
And I feel like birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that I deal with and I'm associated with are bosses.
Yeah.
And they have a lot going for themselves. They encourage me, I encourage them, and I just feel like I know how it is to have children and not be able to this or scrape up this, that, and the other. Like we had the coat drive up here, with Jeff Brown, and he I just allow him to use my venue just to do what he was doing, to give back, because that's what he does on a regular basis. I did food for the city. They had an event called The Intersection. It was their first year really doing it, and they asked me if I would, support them, to be the restaurant. I was like, sure, but I didn't really know I was the only one. But it turned out really good, and then we ended up having a karaoke event afterwards. So the mayor was here, she was a judge, and also a couple of the city council people were judges, and it was just a great night, and it was a karaoke contest. It was like a $500 prize, and it was really nice, and they all were here for a couple of hours, and it was just great to just blend everybody together, and have a good time. And I will be involved also next year.
Oh, wonderful.
For the next year.
What next year? So
So it'd be nice. Yeah. So everything, it's been great. The city has really supported me and everything. And actually, I have an interview coming up with them as well. So I'm gonna announce a few things coming up next year, but I will announce today or tonight that.
Yeah, we got it exclusive.
The four will have a vegan menu.
Nice.
So we will be having vegan selections and a separate vegan menu. That will be out in a couple weeks. So we'll stay tuned for that, and we'll be posting things about that as well.
Also, y'all, she forgot to tell y'all, so they are also on DoorDash. Y'all know how I am. Like, if you need a quick lunch, quick dinner, their menu is available. It's literally the number 4. Once you look them up, and it'll bring up like obviously the day's menu. But make sure y'all support them. Even if you can't come to them, they can get to you. So make sure you at least try it out, because it's a different, especially the quesadillas, y'all. I'm telling y'all.
Oh yeah, that's me and Kitty's favorite, by the way.
It is.
And that's on time. Keep in mind, that's on the quesadillas are every day except for the funny part about it, we have Taco Thursday and we don't do it. We found out the hard way one Thursday. But we do it every other day, and then Soul Food Sunday is another day that you don't, just go off the regular menu. So they can't get it on Thursday and Sunday, which they tried on both days.
The other day, I was like, okay, dude. But no, listen, that goes to show once again how you guys are a staple in the community, and you guys not only just food, but like Kita said, the atmosphere is just one that is so amazing for everyone involved. And like I appreciate you guys. Like this is our hangout spot. This is where we come out the interviews.
Before
the
interviews.
interviews.
On our off days when y'all cancel, we do be here a lot. Thank you for dealing with us, because we be in here.
And then as far as the pop-up shops, I want to start, I did that to kind of showcase a lot of our boutiques. We have a lot of, Black boutique, owners that, are doing very well for themselves. I just wanted anything that I can do to, help them with their business and bring, and actually 2 of the boutiques that have showcased here actually have they were online boutiques before. Now 2 of them have their own stores now. So boutiques. So it's just really a blessing just to be, able to
give back.
Give back and stuff like that. And then, like even with the open mic night, we were showcasing like comedy and music, and so you never know who will be in the room to discover someone. You know what I mean? So
she also hosted our Speed Network event, our latest one that we did for the winter time. She was gracious enough to open up her doors for us, and that was a wonderful time for everybody to have one-on-one interaction, to meet each other, even if you were like social introverts like us. It worked out wonderfully. So I know you said all of y'all cook, but isn't it true that your daughter, or at least one of them, is actually one of the chefs here, right?
Yeah, she's a head chef. That's my daughter, Tiara. Yeah, she's actually working on. She has her own catering thing going on, so she's. We're helping her, get that, up and going. But she's great at that. She's really great at that. She's one of those. She loves everything to be all perfect.
Yeah, because she blatant
and whatever. And I want to fast-paced people like, okay, let's just. So that's her thing, but she enjoys it. So that will be coming soon as well. We'll be introducing her catering business as well.
Look at that.
Now, what we love about you is every time we come in here, you give us like some crazy wisdom when it comes to like business. So from you being in the game, knowing not only the front end of being an entrepreneur, but even the back end of like insurance and making sure, you're in compliance with the city and all that kind of stuff. Can you tell us what's some of the best advice you ever got, and then what's some of the worst advice you ever got that you would never follow?
I would just say this. The funny part about it is that I'm just one of those people that don't ask advice from people that aren't doing it or successful at it. So I can't say that I got a lot of bad advice because I only dealt with a few people. And once again, they were people that already had a business similar to this, that were successful for years and years in the business. I'm just one of those. There's so many people that want to give advice that have never done the business. So I'm like, if you can give me advice, what happened to you?
Right.
So I'm just one of those type of people, okay? If you don't own a house, don't tell me how to buy a house.
Right.
Okay? If you don't own a business, don't tell me how to run a business.
Right.
Thankfully, we
So-
own houses and run business.
I think about that.
I'm
Check.
just like, yeah. I'm like, if you know what I'm saying, if you got a shoe store, don't tell me how to run a restaurant.
Right.
So it's just one of those type of things. So I pretty much overall I was blessed with that to get pretty good advice. And I'm just one of those that do research. I learned that the hard way, just years ago. Just just from the hair business to whatever, everything I've done. I'm just one of those that I try to do, research and stuff like
Right.
that.
Try to find everything you can know.
But it's not easy to start, this type of business. People just think, you can get a space and get your, liquor license, you're good to go. There's more to it than that. So you really have to do your research and you have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Even as far as taxes and everything. So you really have to.
And more than just, like you said, more than just coming up with some food and serving some drinks.
Right.
You have created a wonderful brand. Anywhere we look, any wall you sit on, you know exactly where you are because we are reminded it is absolutely the four. So y'all, our co-host, she being modest, but she's trying to sneak in the back. We're gonna pull her around to the front. Come on, Nikki. Speaking of the four, 2U Wines did come up with the signature wine, the Plum Merlot. So when y'all see it, when y'all come to get a taste, thank us later.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm getting you together right now. That's why I'm not here.
Tell me when I want.
But she was just together. We got to talk about how they met.
Yeah, because y'all don't know, or y'all probably do by now.
Right.
So Nakia
Hit the plug.
is the plug. When I tell you, like Rhonda said earlier, bosses know bosses and birds of a feather flock together. These two be flocking. When I tell you they are fly on their own. So we want to know, how did y'all meet? And it's just crazy, y'all are like neighbors, but y'all like business neighbors, obviously. Supporters, super supporters. How did y'all even come up with
We actually met through a family member. So we're like family. We're like
Clearly.
in-laws. And she just became my sister. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing about me, I don't use the word friend a lot. I'm like, oh, that's my friend, and that's my friend.
Yeah.
Because friend is like family for me.
Yeah.
So people don't hear me say friend a lot. And if I say family, that they know, she don't play like that. Because I don't use that, because everybody else is acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? They're acquaintances. I know them. This and other. But once you get, like I said, it's
You went there.
the circle.
Yeah.
But it's really sad because the higher you climb the ladder, the
smaller the
the
circle
smaller the
gets.
circle gets.
Yeah.
But the closer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We like that.
No,
You got
we-
any questions, Nikki?
Do I have any questions? I'm so sure y'all covered them all. Let me think, have you been asked, I heard when I came in, y'all were talking about what's next. I thought that was an excellent answer about asking the people that know what they're doing, that have been in the business. I kind of came in on that as well. I would say my question, you know what I love about it, and like I said, I'm sure y'all probably answered, but the family dynamic here.
Oh, yeah.
The family dynamic, I haven't, you pass things down to your children, or you bring your children in on a company or a business that you run, and they call it mom and pop or whatever. But it is the entire crew here, and it's working so well. And I know you gotta be mama still, and I think that's what keeps everything running so smoothly, because your children are good at what they do. You assign them the jobs that you feel like they're good at what they do, and they don't want to disappoint mom. And to me, it's being run smooth. I love the food here. This is my hangout. If y'all look at my Instagram, I don't really come outside, but when I come outside, I come here. It's a really cool atmosphere. It's grown and sexy. You can come and get live band. You can come and do karaoke, sing off key a little bit. I think my question is more so, have you talked at all about what you're trying to do for All-Star Weekend?
No, actually, I'm in the process because I'm trying to work with the city for dealing with the parking issues and all that stuff. So I'm working on some events that I'm going to do during All-Star Weekend. So I should, be posting something about that in the next couple of weeks. It'd be good if we could have a wine tasting.
I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place.
But it would be perfect to have an event here, just because it's perfect proximity. You're never too far from anything right here. But it's so like she said, it's like a sophisticated vibe once you hear. It's not like the same. And no shade to nobody who's doing anything different.
Right,
but
no shade.
It's for
We got
somebody.
some
It's
dope-
a specific
dope
type
places.
of customer for sure. And you get everything that you need here, from the food to the conversations. Like she said, she pull you in from the door. Everybody is just so welcoming. Like the staff and the way they're trained and just naturally accommodate people, it's just different. And it just makes you want to be here, and it makes you want to come back. On top of that, y'all, can we talk about, and I know I'm like funny about this, but there is a different level of convenience here. So even at the bar, the seating is perfect. Like, we're not too close, just in case Brandon didn't put no deodorant on today. We're not too close. But at the bar, they are one of the few places I've ever seen that have not only outlets, but the hooks, like your purse, so you don't got to throw it on the floor or take up a different seat from somebody. And I know it's the little things and the joy they bring. But what made you just, I feel like every detail when it came to design, and you talked about, like, you took your time on the build out, but it shows here. It's a perfect like blend of industrial but modern, and I love it, obviously.
Well, I have a few more things I'm doing in the next couple of months, but to kind of bring the floor out a little bit more. But I learned from going out to other places. So I'm one of those that, like, oh, they need a purse hook. You can't plug your phone up, or they handing the bartender their phone, the plug behind the bar and all that. So that's what made me, put those in the bar. And the hook, just from my own experience, even from booking parties.
Yeah.
I would go to parties, and then auntie coming in with the macaroni and cheese 2 hours later, and then people just started eating over here. I just wanted people to have an experience when they come here.
Yeah.
So when I do my parties, I charge a certain price for, catering per person. I charge for the party, but the person whose birthday it is, or whoever anniversary party it is, they can just walk in, be, look beautiful, be clean, and just not worry about anything. They can walk into their event or their party. So everything is set up, everything is, because I let the, people that's doing the event planners, they come in earlier, so they set up everything. I have my staff doing all the food, so when they come in, everything is set up and everything. So that's just one of my little pet peeves that I said I wanted and people are like, oh my goodness, you were right, because they like, well, can I do my own food? I'm like, yeah, I want to do my food.
Right.
It's too much, because by the time you buy seasoning and pans and warmers and this, and then you're so tired, you can't even enjoy your party. And I know, because I've done it, she's done it, because, we just want people that just do everything, Well, let everybody help us do nothing. But I'm just saying that to say I learned from those experiences, and people love people. Yeah, so.
I don't know if you guys touched on it, just making another comment about the fact that when you come in here, Rhonda is in here and she's gonna greet you.
Yes, she actually is always on site.
She's in here on site and she's gonna greet, when people come in or whatever, I see her, she works the room, she makes sure that she lets everybody know that she's available and that make sure they're accommodated and everything is going well. She checks on you. And I like that. That makes you feel at home almost. And again, no shade to all the other businesses, because we got a lot going on. We got a lot of nice places, and especially around this area, it's really being built up well. A lot of nice places to go. And
if you don't see me here, I'm out of town or something. Okay?
Yes, because she's here. Period.
And make sure you let me know how they're doing when I'm not here. Okay?
I check.
They hold it down though. They hold it down. They do. So that's another thing. So you are able to maintain a great business, great quality without. I think you're able to work on your business without working so hard inside of your business, so that you can actually grow the brand and build the brand and keep it going. How did you get that synergy together, or did it just come organically?
Well, I still have to do stuff. I still it's days she'll come in, you guys come in, you don't see me. I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking, I'm cooking, kids, because we don't have like a lot of outside help that comes in. I'm just one of those, if I haven't been in your house, you can't cook my food. So I'm one of those people that just, are real funny about, which a lot of people are,
which is good though, it pays off.
Yeah, so I'm working on that now, as far as, because now I'm trying to do everything. Like my son said, you want to be a manager, you want to be you want to be a cook, you want to be a bartender. But I'm just one of those people that if I see we're short at something, which I feel like every person that owns a business like this, this is your baby. Nobody's going to treat your business the way you do. I don't care who they are. So my thing is that if I see people waiting on drinks and I'm just sitting around, and this one bartender back there, I'm gonna go get the drinks, because that's money. Okay, if I see it's 15 tickets back there, there's only 2 of them back there cooking, I'm gonna go back there and I'm gonna help, because we can get the tickets. You know what I'm saying? If I see a table need to be cleared off, you clear the table off. So it's just because this is a representation of yourself, of me. So you have to just do that. And I'm just saying, in a business, that's what you have to do. She does it. It's just what you have to do. And one day, hopefully, we have enough money. We ain't gonna do none of that and hire everybody to do everything. But until then,
that's the goal.
But until then, you just gotta do what you gotta do. And you have to set the tone. And you have to, and once you keep doing stuff, everybody learns how to do everything correct. And you don't have to fuss as much.
So it leads up to entrepreneurs thinking you're gonna get the business that's gonna be just already set, so you can step away from the business. You have to be in your business every day until you get to a point where you can get yourself out of the business. So that'd be a note to you guys. And my question to you, Rhonda, is that if you had advice to anybody who wants to have their own bistro, their own restaurant, what advice would you give them if they want to start from right now to where you're at now?
Do your homework. That's the #1 thing. Since I've been open, actually the funny part about it, I'm really like a minority in this business. Being a female, #1. Being black, #2, you know what I'm saying? And of course, being the age that I am. But the thing is that you have to do your research. It's been so many people coming in here that have tried to open bars, that own bars right now, that have come to me and asked me for advice. And because they didn't do the research. Or I might have had somebody come in here and ask me for advice, and I already told them to do the research, and they didn't, and they messed up, and then they come back to me. And I said, did not tell you, and they'd be like, I know, I'm supposed to do the research. So it's so important. People don't realize that reading is fundamental. And you can Google anything, okay? And you can ask advice from people that have done it before. But that's the main thing. You have to go, that's why it's steps to everything. You can't just jump into something thinking you know everything.
Right.
You know how many steps it took her to open a winery? You know, it just didn't start. It takes years to do certain things, you know what I'm saying? So just the research part from the time I started doing research and I decided to open up was like 2 years. But that's because I had to find a space, and I was working another job on top of trying to do everything. So I just stepped out on faith and I quit my job.
She said, I'm quitting.
I said because I had to, and then my boss supported me because she's a black business owner, very, very successful insurance agent business owner. And to this day, she still supports me. But she looked out for me. She made sure I got my, my medical pay, everything that I, need, because she was so worried about me. Are you sure you want to leave? I'm like, I have to. I said, because it's taken so long for the build out, and I have to be there. I have to oversee everything in order for me to open. And I need to open. So, I mean, if you don't bet on yourself, who else is going to do it? So, that's how I cannot talk about that sometimes. It's a lot, Especially the first year of business when you're really not making no money, and then you like, but so I would just tell them to do your research, and then every step you take, just make sure you go back and make sure this is the right thing they're doing, because first of all, you're gonna waste money. I know people that try to open up stuff, and they end up not being able to open up, and they spend money, and they waste money, because they didn't do the research, right? So, and in the future, I plan on giving some classes.
I'm gonna ask you about that. Like, are you gonna offer mentorship later on?
Yes, that's coming soon.
Okay.
So,
you heard it here first, y'all.
Right, we heard. Yeah, we got
We got the
nice.
exclusive. We got it.
We managed to do that often.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
So starting the middle of January, I'll be, sending out some things regarding classes and step by step, how to open into a business.
Y'all heard it first. Y'all wanna learn how to open up your restaurant, open up a bar. That's what y'all wanna talk to.
Sure. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, my question is like, so we covered it, but like, so we have the mentorship, we have the catering, we have the vegan menu. What else do you have locked up for 2022 for you personally, and also for your bistro?
I'm really, on top of that, I'm working on my merchandise and as well. And then just trying to build my name up into, I'm trying to even get into the real estate, more into real estate, commercial real estate. Like that. So I got a lot of little things I'm trying to, that I'm trying to do. But because to me, it takes multiple streams of income to really get really where you want to be. And I'm just trying to do that. And then I'm trying to get, a network of my peers, my people, that I love and trust, the bosses. To get, but I do want to start doing networking, it's up here. I want to have, some motivational speakers coming here for men and women, so there's a lot of things that, I plan on doing in the near future. I want to do a comedy night because I think we need to laugh more.
Absolutely.
Yes, so I want to do that as well. So you guys let us get through this pandemic stuff, and we got a lot of stuff going on.
You'll be here. We always will.
No, listen, I'm excited because like we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here for us, so I'm excited.
I ain't got no more. I think she's killing this interview.
Where can everybody reach you at? Well, one, where the exact address for the Fort Beach, so everyone know where to come at, where we're at right now.
It's 4450 Mayfield Road, Stoughton, Ohio, 44121. It's on Green and Mayfield, corner Green and Mayfield.
And they want to get in contact with you guys for catering for you guys menu? Where can they reach you at?
Well, they can follow us on our IG.
Yeah.
It's the #4 bistro. That's our IG. And then our email is the4bistro@gmail.com. And the phone number here is 216-860-0364.
We can't call it no better than that.
No, she big. She killed it.
You
Yeah,
know?
we didn't have to ask a whole lot of questions. She came with it, especially, and I love. So, y'all know me. I love to do a quick recap. So we talked about in this short amount of time. We talked about how she got started with obviously creating her signature name from her being a mother and her being a super supporter. We talked about her faith being tested and showing off like how to manifest your life. We talked about her stepping out on faith with her business. We talked about her pouring back into the community and the community pouring back into her. We talked about the different events and services they provide here, the goals and advice that she would give somebody, what to look for 2022 as far as like the vision for the four, Lord willing, and all of the other things that she's trying to do in her life. So I really feel like this is an amazing interview. And thank you for taking the time.
And we're
to
open for
speak
lunch
with us.
now as well.
Yes.
Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 12 to 4 until we open.
And Thursday is taco night.
Tacos all day.
Yeah.
Tacos all day on Thursday.
Yes.
All day tacos.
So I want to be able to say that next year we can come back for part 2 of our interview. We'll be able to have for the mentorship and talk about that a little more because once again, people got to know about how to open their own bar or restaurant or whatnot. Yes, you can show them the way. So
Yes. Anything else you ladies want to say before we go?
Thank you. I appreciate you guys coming out. I appreciate what you guys are doing. I'm glad my sis introduced me to you guys.
we appreciate
I'm
it.
glad that I can help you guys as well with your events, and we got to all stick together because we better together.
Absolutely. Yes. Indeed. Indeed.
A little better than
And
that.
thanks to my sis for making me that great wine that everybody loves.
Yes.
Oh yeah, listen.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
That's gone. She gotta bring me some.
Cheers to you.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers.
All right, y'all. Well, y'all heard it here. Thank you again for a wonderful interview. As always, make sure y'all support those who are supporting us. She didn't have to do this, giving all the game, allowing us into her personal and professional life, giving us some startup tips and advice. And then make sure y'all come and actually support the four. Like she said, it's 4450 Mayfield on the corner of Mayfield and Green. Don't come and try to take all the food because me and Brandy come very often. We reserve the right to get the
Chicken
quesadillas.
quesadillas.
So please, don't try to take all the food, but come and get some, especially the Alfredo is actually banging. Anyways, y'all, be good or be real good at it. Bye.
Bye. That was good.
That's good. What's up,
I'm
Ray?
glad I made
What's
it.
up, sis?
I'm glad I made it. I was